title of this sermon, A Hen Gathering Her Brood. Will you pray with me? Most Holy Lord God, we give you thanks for your loving concern for us. Help us follow your example in providing loving care for others, protecting them as a hen protects her chicks, through our mother hen, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. Jesus speaks about a very particular image of God, a mother hen. I invite you to ponder in your hearts this image of a hen gathering her brood of chicks. We are, according to this image, each one of God's chicks. And our mothering hen, God, gathers us in and cares for us. I think about Jesus carrying these strong protective instincts toward us, the instincts of a mother hen, and I look for stories that might speak to this image. I wasn't disappointed. I found one story that I would like to share. I thought it was particularly unique. A young woman was keeping a flock of chickens as business, and she used the eggs for her family and also to sell. So every day she would go out and gather up the eggs that the hens had laid. At one point, one of her chickens disappeared. Gone. Flew the coop. And the hen was gone long enough that the woman figured that this particular bird must be gone for good. Leaving the flock is not a safe thing to do. There are predators of all kinds outside the safety zone, if you will, and the young woman didn't believe she'd ever see that hen again. But then one day, the missing chicken reappeared. She marched out of the woods, leading a little row of chicks behind her. The young woman laughed and laughed as she realized that this particular hen was tired of having her eggs stolen. This hen wanted a family, and so she left, laid her eggs and hatched them, and she must have protected them fiercely in those woods. Speaking of predators, I found another story about a chicken hawk and how they operate. The prey of a chicken hawk is chicks. Yeah? The mother hen is often aware of the presence of the hawk in time to create a fuss and gather her chicks under her wings. She will squawk furiously and flap her wings, signaling for them to gather down around her in safety. And the chicks get in closer and closer and closer, cuddling to her, and she fluffs out her wings, covering her chicks and protecting them with her own body. And the chicken hawk dives. And that old hen looks it square in the eye, all the while protecting her chicks. The predator comes around a second time, and the mother hen spreads even further and squawks even louder, protecting those chicks. The third time, he dives only to be thwarted by a peck. He is not going to get those chicks, not from this mother hen. Remember that in the time of Jesus, the hymns that they sang in the synagogues and temple worship were from the Psalms. Some of the hymns that they sang said things like this: "Hide me in the shadow of thy wings. Let me put my trust under your wings. In the shadow of your wings I will take refuge till the storms of destruction pass by. Oh, to be safe under the shelter of thy wings. In the shadow of thy wings I shout for joy. Under God's wings I will find refuge. Those are Psalms 17, 36, 57, 61, 63, and 91, all referring to the protective wings of God. So when Jesus uses that image of a mother hen gathering her brood under the wings, the people who are listening understand right away. And in this passage from Luke this morning, as we see the image of God as that mother hen, we also see in verse 34 where it says that the people are not willing to receive Jesus' offer of love and protection and comfort. And we see something else. Just as the mother hen protects her brood from the chicken hawk, so Jesus longs to protect Jerusalem and the Jewish people from Herod the fox, the predator. Now, you might have thought, as I did, that Jesus says fox because he's talking about hens, right? The natural predator of a hen is a fox. Well, there's more to the story, as they say. In context, in Jesus' day, the fox is associated with treachery and destruction, which fit how Jesus feels about this particular Roman leader. And since Jesus is often multi-layering in his meaning, it's also possible that this was an expletive, since Herod himself considered himself to be a lion. So for someone to call him a fox was slander. Now, it's today so very different. We are not an occupied people, the way that Jesus and his friends were. But we do live in a very dangerous world. We live in a world where we have raised our economic system to the level of God's. We live in a world that is being cluttered and devoured by our own avarice. We live in a world where civility is rare and entitlement rules. Some days we don't even realize that we need protection. Some days we're not willing to receive God's offer of love and protection and comfort if it means giving up some of our stuff or changing the comforts that we are oh so very used to. In spite of the predators of the day, and in spite of our own strong will and naivete, God invites us back to God's love and protection, always. Christine introduced me to an artist, a Christian artist that some of you may know, Lauren Daigle. Anybody out there? You. Well, listen to these words, my friend, and this is someone that you want to Google. Go to YouTube and listen to the words of this song entitled, I Say. I keep fighting voices in my head that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. You say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I'm weak. You say I'm held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, you say that I am yours. I believe what you say of me. The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth. In you I find my identity. Taking all that I have and now laying it at your feet, you have every failure, God. You'll have every victory. You say that I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. You say that I'm held when I feel like I'm falling apart. When I don't belong, you say that I'm yours. I believe. Lauren sings the gospel message that Jesus is talking about in this gospel scripture this morning. God gathers us to herself. God tells us that we are loved, that we are strong, that we are held, even though the world wants to numb us so much that we feel weak and we feel like we're falling short. Maybe we're told that we're not enough or that we don't measure up to someone's expectations of us. At some point or another, this is the message that the world sends us. Will we listen to that message? Or will we hold fast to the invitation and the image that Jesus creates for us this morning? Jesus stands in opposition to the message that we are judged by our failures and by our victories. Today and tomorrow, like Jesus says, the world, like a fox, stands waiting to pounce on us and on our relationship with what is just and honorable and true. Today and tomorrow, God sends us a very different message. Yes, we're broken, but that's how the life fits in. We're gathered together like chicks and we're reminded of how blessed we truly are. All the while the Pharisees are complaining about broken rules, Jesus is casting out demons. The Pharisees give false witness about Jesus and will very soon breathe violence. All the while Jesus is setting people free from their ailments and curing the outcast. Now, several chapters ago in the Gospel of Luke, Jesus set his attention on Jerusalem. He is determined to fulfill his mission and his cross and his call, and we know what his call is, no matter what is thrown at him. So, this is Lent, and we journey with Jesus. And we hear some of the stories and the opposition to Jesus' work. We can be encouraged that Jesus did not let those negative messages deter him. And neither should we allow negativity to deter us from God's will. It is God's will that we be gathered together. Like the song says, the lost, the forsaken, the rich, and the haughty. Some of us will be gathered in, and some will trust the words of the Pharisees of this world. Even Jesus couldn't convince everyone. Jesus points out that some may not be willing to be gathered in. It is up to us to choose. Are the words of the Pharisees making sense to you? Or does Jesus' message of forgiveness and repentance and sacrificial giving ring more true than ever? In our world today, there are so many messages that are divisive and spur violence. We're limiting and demeaning messages about our neighbors who don't look like us or pray like us. Will you take a stand against the evils of racism and white supremacy? Following Jesus means doing the hard work of standing up to injustice, the hard work of repentance and forgiveness. As we walk to Jerusalem with Jesus, let us consider our choices well. We always get to choose. Let us choose Christ.